Hi, and welcome to this vocabulary lesson. In my lessons, I cover a basic word that is one of the 3,000 most used English words. However, I go deeper. So stick around to the very end of this video. Than. Notice it's an A. We pronounce it than, but that's very difficult to hear if you think it might be this. Okay, these are two very different words and they have very different meanings. Than, this one, is used only in comparing. Then is used in sequencing. So we're not talking about then in this video, we're talking about than, and we use it to compare. Let's look at some examples. Maria is taller than her sister. We use this form, the comparative adjective with the ER and then a than, and then we have a noun. It makes a straightforward comparison. It suggests Maria has a greater degree of height. We use the comparative adjective plus a noun plus the than, then a noun or a pronoun. Taller than her. I would rather stay home than go out tonight. Here we're comparing two options. We have the option of staying home. We have the option of going out, and we're comparing them. And we use this with I would rather structure. I would rather, and then do something, than do something else. Again, it's with comparison. This shows a preference. The speaker prefers staying home. So we have the would rather plus the base verb, then a than, then the base verb. The verbs offer rather, after rather, and then and than are normally in the base form. They stay and go. It took longer than expected. We're using, in this case, we're using than with a comparative adverb, not a comparative adjective, but we still have the ER form on the end of our adverb or our adjective, and then we have a than. Than, if you see a than, look for the adjective. Even with I would rather, rather functions as an adverb or an adjective stating preference. It took longer than I expected. And when you have a than, you have to have two things, it and whatever you expected. This indicates that something exceeded an expectation. It can have a mildly negative or surprised connotation, depending on the context. So we have a comparative, the than, and then a clause. Longer compares the actual amount of time with the amount of time the speaker expected. The full idea is longer than I expected it to take. More than 100 people attended the meeting. So here we have more. More is a comparison, right? Than 100 people. So we would use this with a number amount, and we mean greater. It means over or greater that particular quantity. It emphasizes that the amount exceeded the stated number. More than a number or a noun here introduces the comparison between the number of attendees and that it's greater than 100. We can put than between two parallel phrases. She is more interested in helping others, so this is one case, than in making money. This is the other case. Those are the two things that we're comparing, and we're saying she leans toward interested in helping others. This compares two qualities, activities, or priorities. It can suggest a person's preference or values, just like I would rather do this than that. More plus an adjective than, and then the parallel structure, okay? Because interested takes the preposition in, the comparison in is helping versus in helping versus in making. So a few important collocations with than. Than is most often used in collocation because it's specific to comparison. So we have better than. This restaurant is better than the other one. More than. There were more than 50 students at the conference. Less than. The trip took less than 2 hours. Rather than. She walked rather than took the bus. Other than. I don't know anyone other than John. So we're comparing anyone with John. Different than. This is different than I expected. This thing right here is what I'm comparing to my expectations. Different from, notice, different from is traditionally preferred in formal English, but different than is common, especially in American English. Sooner than. He arrived sooner than we expected. Later than. The train arrived later than usual. More likely than. She is more likely to accept the offer than to reject it. Than basically has no meaning without its comparative adjective. So we really can't put it into one of these content word pieces. Than acts more like a particle of many other words. If you see a than, please look for the comparative adjective or adverb. Than. I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Research shows that if you know 3,000 words, then you can pretty much say anything you need to say. I hope I'll see you tomorrow, and please like and subscribe.